Hello everyone. What you see in front of you here is the first installment of a breakthrough campaign that I'm working on for Memoir 44. It's the Bagration, a Bagration breakthrough campaign, the decisive and biggest offensive of the war, a Soviet offensive against Army Group Center. In 1944, started on the 22nd of June 1944, so exactly 3 years after the German invasion of the Soviet Union. So I'll be making quite a few of these scenarios. I'm planning on making a few for the north, center, and south of the offensive. I've already made three breakthrough maps side by side in a massive scenario, which is kind of like the D-Day expansion. But I decided to make a breakthrough campaign, so like the Normandy campaign, for instance, in Campaign Book 2. And as I said, this is the first installment, and it's part of the northern part of the offensive, and it's the Battle of Vitebsk. Vitebsk is the city over here. Now, I've just set up the scenario. I might still change the number of units for each side. I might still tinker a bit with the terrain and everything. I mean, this is the first time I'm going to play test it. It is the idea that the Soviets actually win, and that it's going to be, the Germans doing better than they did historically, which could result in a German win. And I will also include a few scenarios which are basically German counterattacks. But of course, that's all still to be developed. So let's see how this thing plays out. These units are partisan units. They use the same rules as French resistance units. Here we have a big gun. There's minefields everywhere. And basically, the Blitz rules are in effect, but in this case, for the Soviets, meaning that they can use any air power card that they should draw as if it were a Recon 1 card as if it were an air power card. Also, Soviet armor moves 3 hexes and German armor only moves 2 hexes. They also score, that is, each side score victory medals for the town hexes. I still have to figure out how that's going to work, but if the Russians do not take Vitebsk itself, they will actually get a penalty. You can see that in the existing campaign books as well, that one of the two sides has to capture a certain number of objectives, and if they don't, then it actually goes at the expense of their victory points. What else is there? The Germans start with only 3 cards, and then after the first 2 turns they draw an additional card until they reach 5, and that's what they will keep for the rest of the scenario. Also in this scenario, because of the orders that Hitler actually gave the troops to hold fast, the Germans are to ignore all flags rolled against them unless a card such as air power or barrage specifically says that they can ignore them, but otherwise they have to ignore them. So let's see how this plays out. It will be very, very difficult for the Germans. Also here, between these hexes, the Soviet units can exit the board. Also on the German baseline, they can actually do that. And also one of the conditions that I have in mind for victory for the Russians is that they need to exit at least 3 tank units from, anywhere between those exit markers that I've just shown you in order to win the scenario. So even if they should destroy all German units, they actually do have to make it off the board. And one final special rule that's part of this scenario is that the Germans can play a Recon 1 card and actually, they can actually play it, but not draw 2 cards, but instead they can take a victory point instead, and that's to symbolize that the Russians do have to keep the pressure on, have to keep going. So that's what I have in mind. So let's see how this scenario actually plays out, and once I've played it, I'll come back to you and share my thoughts and my feelings with you about this scenario. So thank you for watching, and see you after the next one.